Big ripped Ryan over there with his triceps just bulging out of his shirt.
Just destroying the seams.
It's just out of control.
I mean, I
can't
have
even
to
handle it.
sew things all the time.
There is a reason why he's sitting on the
That's why
far
he's
end of the
way-
couch.
yeah,
Yeah,
way
because
over there.
his triceps take up about 2/3 of the couch, just like
No,
the triceps.
he just knows Leah can't control herself.
I
He's like,
can't.
I heard she hits
No.
people, and so I'm staying, like, if my arm can reach
Oh,
this
my.
far, I don't think, okay, yeah, I'm not far enough.
We have some fun here on the Frugal Fitness Show, and he's referring to Leah Hilton punching Dave Aspro on the Mound on the Gag Order Show.
I know. I wish
kind
I
of last
saw
week.
that.
You
It
missed
was
out.
a good one.
You should check it out.
The
I missed
impact.
it too.
No, but
Yeah, the
Leah
impact of that punch was out of control.
I want to
so
hear
Leah
it.
doesn't know this, but when I didn't know what was going on, because we had the show after, so I was just coming up in the elevator. I was like, "Oh, hey, Dave," and he's like, "Yeah, I just got punched in the stomach."
Yeah, he
And
was
I
not
was
looking
like,
good.
Really? Because you
Oh.
know what I just read about today? And I said there was this kid in People magazine. I don't know how old the article was, but he was being bullied, and somebody punched him, and the way that they sucker punched him got like something. There was like a blood clot or something in his spinal cord, and he was
Ouch.
paralyzed. He's paralyzed from the legs down now. And he's like, "Well, thanks for telling me now." I was like, "What, are you gonna stop Leah from punching you?"
He
Oh,
liked
Leah,
it.
Leah
Yeah.
is a pint-sized puncher. She does some major damage. And,
Yeah.
of course, also we have Ivan Drago, the producer, Dimitri over there, running the boards, giving the Rocky intro to the show. So anyways, if you're listening or watching live on IDEO.com, IIDIO.com, you can tweet at IDEO1, or you can tweet at Mike Sheemer, or Frugal_Fitness, or Marstar. We got...
You know, Mike, if you ran through all the Twitter handles that
We've-
we could hook up, that
We
you
have-
would
We'd
see.
have a book.
we are
Yeah,
very well
the-
connected.
This would be a very long Twitter hour.
Yeah,
Mike could do that for one straight
could.
hour.
Yeah,
I swear
know.
he
could
It's
do it.
impressive.
We'll call it like.
I have the
don't know.
mental. I have the mental muscle to,
Twitter.
to
Media
pull that
Mike.
off.
Twitter time.
Exactly.
Twitter time with Media Mike, and
See?
it'll be 1 hour.
My love for alliteration is spreading.
Yeah.
But anyways, before we get into the show, obviously I am not dressed to work out really, but I don't really have a good excuse. But I'm gonna pretend I do. I'm gonna pretend I did it for a reason, and that reason that I'm imagining is that you can still work out and you can still get in some exercises, even if you're not dressed ideally for the workout. So, you know, it might look like I'm wearing these fancy glasses and a collared shirt, but I really got the shirt for free. I got these glasses from Lost and Found Bin. I got these shoes from Payless Shoes for $25, pants for $5 at the Salvation Army, and I think I splurged on the watch. I spent a whopping like $19 on this. It's out of control. I really just had a bad day or something.
It's giant for
Yeah.
those of you that can't see it.
That's what. No, sorry,
Oh.
wrong show. But anyways, and we have later in the show we're gonna use the exercise ball, and all three of us here, Ripped Ryan, Lean Leah, and myself, we're gonna demonstrate 3 exercises each
Lean
later
Leah.
in the show, and we're gonna do ab exercises, glute exercises, lower back exercises, and just show you some great ones that you can do with just these are like $10 or $15, maybe $20 tops. You can order them online or any sports store. Any brand will suffice. Even for Ryan, who is like 6'7", like 700 pounds.
You know,
he's huge.
700 pounds.
He's an enormous
pure
guy.
muscle.
Dun, dun, dun.
big guy.
So anyways, for the first segment, I just wanted to first, before we get into more detail on the fitness stories and spotlights of my co-hosts and Ryan and even Dimitri, I just wanted to get into a real quick little spiel on Frugal Fitness. I started, I've been working out my whole life, working out for, as little cost as possible, with as little equipment as possible, because I was always traveling. I was trying to save money where I didn't have any money. So you have to get creative. You have to get imaginative. I've lifted couches. I've lifted tables, chairs, you name it. Whatever, any objects around the house. Body weight exercises, obviously, as everybody in this room has probably utilized before, especially Dimitri over there. He does he does 2-finger push-ups a few times.
Of course. Well, he is the body of the network.
Yes, he is
Fancy.
the Ideo Adonis, as I
I
just
know.
created.
He's
I
our
feel like
muse.
Yes.
I failed him today.
And so anyways, the Frugal Fitness basically concept for this show and everything else is working out on any budget or no budget at all with as little equipment as possible, no equipment, eating healthy while trying to work on any budget. Even if you're on food stamps, or even if you're on $50 a month, $100 a month, making that stretch and also getting as much for your dollar, nutritionally speaking. So that's all very important. And I think the Skinny Spice, or at the Skinny Spice on Twitter, has a story, a Frugal-related story for today. So I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Oh,
and
I
you can
do
tell
have a
it.
frugal. I was
Yeah.
like, what story do I
You have to share your frugal wisdom with us today.
Well, I first of all failed Dimitri because I was supposed to do a Russian salad today, and that's not happening today.
Oh, but that'll happen
But
eventually.
It's going to
Oh,
happen
no.
because we have bigger plans
Yes.
for the Olivier. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Olivier?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did I mess it up?
No, that's
All right.
That's it right there.
Okay. So
Dimitri.
my frugal story, and it really isn't a big story.
Yes, it
but
is. This is big,
here's
so
the
it better be
thing.
good.
It's gonna snow tonight.
Yes.
And I am mad because I
course.
hate snow, and it's spring in a day, but it's gonna snow.
Is that tomorrow?
Technically.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's the
No, it's
spring
the
is
21st.
Wednesday. It's
Yeah.
Wednesday, the 20th. But it's gonna snow tonight and all day tomorrow, and I'm gonna have to shovel, and I don't like it.
Use your
And-
muscles, girl.
Well, that's what
Shoveling-
Mike said, right? So
Shoveling
Guys.
burns a lot of calories.
That's
it burns
what
a lot of
everybody
calories.
says, but I can think of a lot of other things that burn calories that don't involve snow.
Really?
Meaning not in the snow.
Okay. All right.
Anyway,
Fair enough.
I'm losing track. So I was grumpy, so I decided I'm going to make cupcakes because that sounded logical.
But were they healthy, paleo, gluten-free cupcakes? Were they
no,
healthy
no.
in any way?
I'm
Come
failing on
on.
all accounts today.
That's all right.
Anyway.
Cheat meals are acceptable, though.
So, but they had real strawberries in the frosting.
Okay.
Ooh,
There you go.
I
Except
like
the
that.
frosting is where I failed, so I didn't think to find out how much powdered sugar I had.
Mm.
And so I decided, well, you could probably make your own powdered sugar. And the lady
Uh-oh.
had a website, was like frugal, or the recipe was like frugal desserts or something. And I was like, what are you?
So they're trying
Mike
to
Sheehan?
steal my life.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're trying to, well, yeah.
They're
I
trying
mean,
to steal
maybe you
from
should
me.
call her up.
Steal from me and
We
Macklemore,
should,
and that's
like,
terrible.
invite her on the show.
So is this something to substitute it?
So you take real sugar and you can blend it, and it will become powdered sugar.
Oh.
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah, but I was
Wow.
impatient.
you have to have a
and
really
I
good
didn't-
blender for that.
Oh, I used a food processor, and it was really not working. So then I took out the magic bullet,
Oh.
which actually
Yes.
was
There
magical.
you go. Well,
Yes.
that's like
That's
a heavy
great.
duty,
Yes.
blender. So that was the whole story.
That was my
Use
story.
the magic. Okay,
and
and
that's not frugal.
Oh,
that blender.
but it was frugal because the magic bullet's not. But it was frugal because I didn't have to go to the store and buy more powdered sugar. I
All
just
right.
used all the
Especially
sugar that
in the
I don't
snow.
use.
Just use what you got on hand.
Yeah,
I like that. See, and
Yeah.
Ryan's right on the money on that. Ryan is right on the money. Ripped Ryan. Because, and we've done this on a lot of YouTube cooking videos for Frugal Feasties. We use what we have on hand because I always screw up on the groceries, or she does,
Yeah.
or we're always missing something.
True.
So you just do your best with the ingredients you have on hand, so you don't have to go out, spend more time and gas, and probably pay for something because you're in a rush when you're not comparing prices or brands. But anyways, so
that
we
happens to me all the
Yeah.
time. I always
course.
come back from the grocery store and I'm like, oh, coriander.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. So
How
I
could
mean,
you forget coriander? That's my
know.
favorite spice of all time, besides the skinny spice.
And I love that you could probably only see her leg. on this.
Yeah.
Well,
This game.
Everyone can imagine the bulge.
got long legs.
bulging
we'll bulge
muscles.
over here.
yes,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
muscles.
I'm so tired.
Anyways,
man.
I'll do a
we're
vape.
all exhausted here because the frugal life is very exhausting sometimes.
You got to work hard.
It can take a lot of energy out of you when you're going to the dollar store to get all your goodies, and
So
you're going
much
to
energy.
you're going to thrift stores like Macklemore, and you're just doing crazy body weight exercises all over the place. You know, it's just it can be very draining. So we're all exhausted, but we fight through it to bring you this information and this wisdom to save you money and improve your health and fitness. And Amanda, I want to kind of go into everybody's, backstory a little bit, kind of put a little spotlight and a little snapshot on their fitness and nutrition history. And we don't have a guest this week because I purposely wanted to kind of focus more on the co-hosts and Ripped Ryan. And we all know Dimitri is just,
the most integral part
Yeah.
of the show.
Exactly. So
Dimitri's like the glue.
yeah,
Yep.
he is, he's Deltoid's Dimitri. What can I say?
You had to come up with
Yeah.
that. You had. Okay.
I already came up with that earlier.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not that clever.
He's been saving it in his pocket for
Yeah.
a while now.
Yeah, I've been holding on to that little nugget. So I wanted to know the Skinny Spice. Tell me a little bit about how fitness or cooking, nutrition, or kind of staying on a budget has been important for you in your life or in your business.
So I used to teach. I did teach for America in North Carolina, and that was important to be on a budget there because
Well, yes.
teachers don't really get paid very much at all. But also it's really important to eat healthy and it's really hard to eat healthy in the South because everything's deep fried and everything's
True.
Comfort
really,
food.
really good. Like
Mhm.
like the state fair. Will never forget this day. The state fair, we walked in and there was you weigh yourself when you go in, and then people paid to
Really?
weigh
God.
themselves, and then you weigh yourself on the way out. It was a thing,
These people are
Get
sick.
out.
so they
here.
could see how
Wow.
much weight they gained just from their trip
That
to
is
the state
awful.
fair.
Sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, well, it kind of is. I didn't do it, but I did have some deep fried. What did I
They
have?
have deep fried
Deep fried
Snickers.
They have everything.
Oreos?
This is not what I
Those
had.
are
but
I've heard those are good actually.
I've
Oh,
had
they
deep
are
fried
good.
bacon.
I had the deep fried.
I'm not surprised.
I don't remember what deep fried thing I had.
Baconated
Oreo was
bacon.
Everything.
But this is what they had. They had deep fried cheeseburgers, deep fried peanut butter and jelly, deep fried
Yep.
Coke, deep
Ugh.
fried butter. They take a stick of butter or a half a
Oof.
stick and deep fry it. It's disgusting. Anyway, so it was important to eat healthy down there.
Diabetes.
Yeah.
And my thing is that you can eat healthy without spending a lot of money because people I think people use the excuse oh, you have to go to Whole Foods and spend all this money and buy organic stuff and
Oh, yes.
fruits and vegetables cost so much money, and they really don't if you go to the right places. And also if you look at the prices of the stuff in the middle of the store, like the crackers and the cookies and all that stuff, that's expensive too. It's just easier because you don't have to make it.
Very
but that's
true.
So I think that's an excuse.
And
Anyway,
also,
I got on a
wanted
tangent.
to say, also, the school lunches and just
Oh, yeah, thank you.
just teaching. Anyways, everything is on such a tight budget, or there's
Mm-hmm.
just they can only spend 20 cents per meal for a kid, to make it affordable. But then they have to lower the nutritional value and different
Right.
things. So what were your experiences
So-
with that?
When I was teaching, my school all my kids were on subsidized lunches, and
Yep.
they really ate breakfast and lunch at the school, and that was kind of it for the most part. And they were just disgusting. I came from Massachusetts schools where the school lunches aren't perfect, but they're better than having catfish strips and potatoes as a French fries were the vegetable of the day.
Wow.
Or
Yeah.
Delicious.
it would be
Yeah.
like that, or the fruit would be an icy or something. So yeah. So
Tough.
and it's not the cafeteria's people's fault down there. It's just that their government has no money to really
yeah, they're just
That's
working
what
with
healthy,
what they
right?
got,
Yeah.
They
and
need
they don't
more
have
frugality.
anything.
Right.
Yeah, they need more frugality, but
right.
I mean, honestly, they're stretching every penny, and they're trying to make, like you said, French fries into vegetables and ketchup packets into fruit, and and
Yeah,
and
it's gross.
popsicles into fruit.
Oh,
That stuff is
awful.
that's not acceptable,
Right.
and the kids suffer, but.
So that's why
They have no choice though, because that's all they can afford. Unfortunately, it's a very
Yeah.
big problem in our
True.
school system.
which is why it's kind of good that I'm not getting political here. That Michelle Obama's trying to change that, because I really didn't think it was a huge problem until I saw how big of a problem it was. And also, it's really not that hard to eat healthy for cheap. It's just that it takes a little bit of more thinking. Like,
Mhm.
I can't speak right now, but
Yeah.
it takes some more thinking.
It takes creativity.
And you have to know what you're doing.
And so that is great. The Michelle Obama's initiative to improve, after school activities and the gym classes, PE, health,
Yeah.
whatever, and also improve the quality of the school lunches and breakfasts and all that type of thing. But
Because I
it's just-
made
it's difficult. It's an uphill battle.
like one lesson I did. I made stone soup with. It's like basically vegetable soup.
I
and
made
broth.
that too.
Yeah, in kindergarten, right? And you put the
Oh, yeah.
stone at the bottom, and then
Oh, I
the
love that.
superintendent came over, and one of my kids, like I dropped a raw onion on the floor, and they were like, "I'll eat it." They were like grabbing the raw onions off
What?
the floor, grabbing the like
Eat the onion?
out of the bottom of. I had like canned corn, I think, because it was easiest at the time, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll eat it out of the can. That's fine." Yeah, because they were
Even-
so hungry.
Even I wouldn't do that.
Even
and,
you wouldn't. And that's
Wow.
bad.
and
Oh.
that's saying a lot.
Bus
Yeah.
head
Right
Mike
there.
wouldn't eat it.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
I wear clothes I find on the bus. I mean, jeez. and,
Yeah.
Good thing you don't eat cans of corn on the bus.
Jeez, no. So I have some standards here and
Yeah.
there, but
Yeah.
You're corny enough.
oh,
Anyway, so
but
it's
anyways,
not expensive to eat healthy, and that's my thing.
so that,
And make it easy to eat healthy.
that is an excellent point, excellent topic. I think we're gonna get into that even more in future episodes of the Frugal Fitness Show. So Leah, obviously,
Yes.
fitness has been a very significant part of your of your life and your career thus
That it
far, and
has.
probably will continue to be. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, basically, I'm actually going to tie it into your frugalness here.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. No problem. Yeah, basically, I started off like doing a lot of cardio, and that was all I did. And it gets really
Can't believe
boring. It. I mean,
That's pathetic. No, I'm just
hey.
most people start
Number I
out
punch.
especially a lot of women. They really do. They start out
Mhm.
just treadmill, bike, elliptical, especially
Well,
stair climber.
And the thing is,
that's
it's because they're afraid they're going to bulk.
Exactly.
I mean, I was afraid I was going to bulk back then. I was like, I don't want muscles. I don't want this. Like,
you don't want to look
I'm
like
gonna-
Ryan over there, just
I'm going to look like
exploding,
Ryan.
Yeah.
exploding out of
And
his
I'm
shirt.
gonna look
I'm-
like
I'm
Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm a massive
The
bulk
mustache
over
and
here.
everything.
Yeah,
Oh, God, I hope not.
Yeah, you start lifting dumbbells, and all of a sudden you just grow an epic mustache, and then your pecs are just bouncing around like Dimitri's. It's just out of control.
You're working on the curl, and then all of
Although-
a sudden, like, pop,
Yep.
mustache.
Ladies, if you do work your chest, it does enhance your breasts. Thank you very much.
It's
Just
true. It
saying.
could. It can a little bit.
It does. But yeah, then over time, like, I remember like trainers coming up to me and being like, why don't you lift some weights too? Or why don't you do this? And I'm like, no. And like, honestly, I was just very stubborn. I was like, no, I don't want to. I was very set in my ways. But then like over time, like I basically found like classes, and those classes were a good way to kind of give you a reason to keep pushing and,
Good.
find friends that would want to do the same thing. Because also they'd be like, oh, well, my friend doesn't want to, so they're staying at home. There are meetups. There are people
True.
that hiking groups. There are so many options, and it doesn't involve money. Like,
Yep.
it's free unless you need gas to get to where you're going. But I mean, as far as the fitness aspect of it, I mean, it's free. You can find a friend that has a similar interest, same like level of endurance, and go for a run. People make all these excuses for themselves as
Right.
far as not to work out, especially the traveling thing. There are so many options for traveling, especially in any area, whether it's a gym or,
Planet Fitness. What's that thing?
yeah.
The
The,
The lunk alarm?
The
the
no
black
judgment,
card.
no
the
judgment
black
zone.
card
Yes,
where you can
where you
go
can go to any
anywhere.
of them.
Yeah.
And they're
Judgment-free
all
zone.
over.
Yeah.
The universal card.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got you. But yeah,
It's only $20.
Leah makes a great point that there are always community boards and there are always
Yeah.
groups of people looking for workout partners, looking for running groups, hiking groups, everything you can think of now, intramural like sports. It's all free or very low cost, and that some of the exercise classes are a great way if you've just been doing cardio and you're afraid you're going to bulk up or something like that, which is kind of a myth. It's
Right, and
it's
the
a
thing
myth,
is,
especially for women.
The more muscle you build, the more calories you're burning.
Yep.
And your metabolism is boosting like crazy. So on top
Exactly.
of that, you don't even have to work out as much if you don't want to, because you're burning calories throughout the day.
Yep.
Whereas if you're just doing cardio, you're actually burning muscle.
Exactly.
So
So it can actually hinder your progress if you do not do resistance training. Whether it's bands, machines, dumbbells, core exercises. There's a lot of different forms of resistance training, and it will not bulk up women unless they absolutely have ridiculous genetics or they go out of their way to make it like their major goal
like
to
whey
put on
protein
muscle, like
and
taking 5 protein shakes a day,
crazy.
like 4,000 calories a day, and then probably taking other things on top of that for women to really put on bulk muscle. So
And like if you knew how much I lifted and how like crazy weights, and basically weight training that I do, like back then my eyes would have been bulking out of my head, like,
yeah.
oh geez, I'm gonna get so big. And people look at me and they're like, you're so toned and it looks great, and it's like, and I put a lot of work into it, but again, it's the muscle that if you're afraid to bulk, it's not gonna bulk.
Right.
It just tones and
Exactly.
it strengthens.
And your biceps are puny compared to mine, so that's proof right there.
My
proof
biceps
for everybody.
are so much bigger than yours.
Boom!
And my arm wrestling
Boom.
competition with you is going down sometime in this room.
Sweat stains.
And you're in
Fru-
trouble.
frugal sweating. So I want to hear about fitness in your life, Ripped Ryan.
Hey, y'all.
Um,
So I kind of started out the frugal way.
Good.
As most kids did.
Excellent.
My parents didn't like to invest a lot of money in sports that would cost a lot of money.
True.
So I had all
Yeah.
the ones that you change your shoes with the season, but not really much else. Maybe a ball changes. So I played soccer when I was 5.
That's what I like to hear, man. That's the way it should be, honestly. Basketball, soccer, nothing too, too hardcore.
When baseball season came around, I got a mitt and maybe new cleats. So anytime the season changed, I got a new pair of shoes and 3 months of sports. So
Very good.
when I went to high school, I switched to an even cheaper sport, which was cross country.
As
And-
did I.
Mhm.
As did I.
And built up my mileage
Very
there. It's free. You just go out on the roads.
And we all know that as a cross-country runner or a distance runner, it's almost a requirement. It's almost an unsaid rule, that you have to have a mustache for distance
What?
for
at
distance
least-
running.
I don't remember this.
Excellence.
It's for
That's-
pre. I think it's for pre.
Yes.
I think it's for Steve
Prefontaine.
Yep.
Exactly.
Legendary.
And if you understand that reference, then you probably used to run 5 or 10
No,
miles.
And
I
have
like-
had a mustache at
course
some
the ladies
point.
don't.
If you're a pre-fan, they come with mustaches. So I did cross country and track
All right.
and basketball.
Nice.
All
Well, of
throughout
course,
high
you're like
school.
6'4" or whatever. I
I
hope
got-
you played basketball.
I got stone hands. I'm good behind the boards, but that's about it.
I used to play basketball, and I'm like a foot shorter than you, so...
Yeah,
you
but
know.
that's what everybody says to tall people. I was
That's
a tall
true.
girl, and people say
Yep.
that all the time. And in fact, I was the least coordinated.
Amanda, you are not a
Basketball
tall girl. You're like
no,
slightly tall.
I was when I was in
Oh.
In your-
elementary school
yeah.
Okay.
and middle school, and they were like, "Oh, you should play basketball."
I was never the tall girl.
I got that all the time.
That's okay. I was never the tall girl either.
Yeah, that's
But,
good. You're winning.
all right, back to Ripped Ryan's story of dominance.
So
Sorry.
in track and field in high school, I had to train a lot, and that involved. Track and field's a pretty cheap sport. There's not a
Absolutely.
whole lot of equipment that goes into it, unless you're a pole vaulter.
Right.
So we did a lot of stadium exercises
Yep.
and a lot of jump drills and plyometrics.
Good.
And then speed and strength training on alternating days.
Excellent.
So I just kept that going throughout college and after high school. Where
Was
I
it
went-
manual college?
Manual college.
All
right in
right.
the Fenway area. I went to New England my freshman year, and I placed 8th in the individual high hurdles, and that got me all New England for Division III sports honors. And then my
Impressive.
senior year, I had a couple injuries going, so I had
That
pull.
tends to happen.
Yeah.
It tends to happen if you don't treat yourself properly. Everybody stretch.
Yes.
Stretch, stretch,
Yep.
stretch, stretch, stretch. I
I
can't
hear
say it
that
enough.
one.
You'll get hurt if you don't. Your muscles will get tight, and you're
Like
just
this past week, I pulled both my calves.
fun.
And that was and
Yeah, I
that
did.
happened during a musical performance and not a workout, correct? Well, it was exacerbated by a musical performance, right?
What?
Isn't
It
that what you were
was?
saying?
No.
Oh, I thought you
That'd
said
be
you were
pretty cool.
you were performing on stage, and you had pulled your calves, and You like pull them. I thought that's what you were
And I did an
saying during
epic
your
pull
performance.
while I was dancing and
Yeah,
singing.
I honestly thought that's
Yeah,
what you were
no.
saying because
No.
that can happen. You know.
Wait, how'd you do it?
Running.
Oh.
It was that day where it was
Okay.
like 54 degrees out, and then I was like, oh, I have to run the
Gotta hit the
trails.
roads.
Yeah, bad idea.
Mm.
Because I did 5 miles, and I was like, I shouldn't be doing this. Yeah.
I bet stairs were awful the
Well,
next day.
and I did calf training in my legs that day too. So
Mhm.
Oh.
Gastrocnemius training.
Extra tight.
let's just say my like calves right now are bruised from like rolling them out,
Oh.
trying to like get.
Hey,
get
you
out
know
the-
what? Walk it off. I don't
Walk
rub some
it
rub
off.
No
dirt.
symphony.
Rub-
symphony.
rub dirt on
Sympathy
it.
From this one.
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyways, so Ripped Ryan is going to share a few of his physio ball exercises here that he used for some core training, kind of core training, cross training, to help strengthen his abdominal muscles, protect his spine during very high impact, repetitive micro trauma from hurdles and distance running and sprinting. So very important. So let's have you kind of move this microphone in
All
front,
right, let's
show a
figure it
couple
out.
exercises, and then Miss Leah Hilton and myself, we're also going to demonstrate a couple exercises as well for you to do and incorporate into your workout regimen. So start it off, my man.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So this one is lower abs and like full abs.
All right. So he
Can
is...
I get you to stand
This-
on my feet, Lee?
I
Yep.
can.
Buddy?
Okay, so we need a partner here because, Leah is helping him out to give his feet some support. And Ryan's leaning back on the ball. He's getting good stretch in the abs, crunching up at the top. He wants to exhale as he crunches up, inhale as he lowers down. And you don't want to lower down too low during a crunch if you have lower back issues. You know, if you have any spinal issues, spinal disc issues, if you have any hernias or anything like that. So Ryan is working his abs. He's also working his hip flexors because Leah is stepping on his feet, so he's recruiting his hip flexor muscles as well. Lower back. I want you to do a couple more, man. Feel a little burn, and then I want you to switch exercises. Yeah,
All right.
couple more, man. He's showing off his six-pack, ladies, so,
Another thing you can do is like slow up your reps
Yep.
so that you're working harder
So
all the way up.
exact. So he's talking about doing negative repetitions, basically, or just slowing the cadence of the repetitions, which can really increase your the intensity of the exercises, and it can also really make you cause a little bit more muscle breakdown and endurance gains. So let's see another exercise, Ripped Ryan. Let's see what you got in your arsenal.
So
He's like all St. Patrick's Day out today.
I
oh, you should see me yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This one's kind of a lower one.
Okay.
You're just gonna
So he
most
is.
your back
So
on the
he's
ball.
switching from basically from sit-ups to more of a crunch now. So he has more of his mid-back supported by the ball, and you're gonna lower down, get a little bit of stretch. He's crunching all the way up, exhaling on the way up, lowering down slow. And this one might be a better idea, if you do have back issues and if you have hip flexor kind of restrictions or something like that, because this will isolate the abs more and it will not involve the other muscles as much. So
You can
let's-
also use weights too.
absolutely. Well,
Like,
yeah.
And if you don't have weights, you can use books. Things that are just heavy in weight.
Well, yeah. If you're Miss Leah Hilton
That's
and
what I'm
you've got
saying.
abs of steel,
I'm just
I mean,
saying, if you're going into beast mode,
yeah.
you got to have the weight.
you can always. She's right. You can always, within
Intensify
reason.
your
Mode.
workout.
Within reason, add any resistance. You can use bands. You can use any everyday objects. You can use a partner for resisted exercises, dumbbells, whatever you need, medicine balls. So, Leah, I want you to demonstrate
Yes.
a couple
Here we go.
exercises, and I'm going to talk them through.
Get the glutes
And
going.
she is going to demonstrate a couple glute, lower back exercises, glute, hamstring, lower back, using the physio ball. And she's going to use this in a slightly different way than you would normally do the physio ball for an ab crunch or sit-up, as Ryan demonstrated. So she's going to lie on her back, heels on top of the ball, and arms are either at her sides or, just anywhere kind of out of the way. She's going to push down on her heels, and what are you doing, leg curls first? All right, more curls, more girls. She's keeping her hips up. She's curling the ball in towards her and bringing it out in front, curling it in. so she keeps her hips up the whole time. And this is fantastic kind of posterior exercise. Gets glutes, hamstrings, calves, lower back, all those posterior muscles that you can't really see in the mirror very much, but they're very, very important, and to kind of maintain balance and also to keep a strong overall core. Because you can train your abs till the cows come home, but if you don't train lower back on top of that, then you're going to be out of balance. You're going to hurt your back. You're going to blow out a disc eventually. I'm not going to say that's always going to happen, but it could. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a risk, and you just minimize the risk by strengthening your lower back. So I want you to do the hip bridges or the hip raises now. Yep. So this is going to work similar muscle groups, but just a slightly different version of the exercise.
Oh, yep.
So basically raising the hips up, lowering down. So as she raises the hips up, you have to contract glute muscles, hamstrings, again calves, lower back, and you're working all the posterior muscles. So you're actually burning a lot of calories, and these are great to do on top of squats, on top of lunges, on top of deadlifts to really get all of your legs, especially if you're running and biking a lot or doing other sports where you're just working the same muscles again and again, and you just create an imbalance. Like your quads get really strong, and your hamstrings get weak, or your hamstrings get too tight. This kind of helps balance
keep everything
out.
even, right?
Exactly.
Which is what you want. You
Keep
want everything
things-
working at the same level.
Keep things in proportion, and you can do single leg ones like she's doing, heel up straight to
She's
the ceiling.
getting fancy.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And now I
This
am
is
going.
the advanced course.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to jump in. I'm gonna have to jump in and do a couple like plank
He
push-up
always
exercises.
needs to stage you up.
I
Leah.
have to. Yeah, because I just can't let
Always.
Leah make me look bad. You know.
But you could do those when you're like watching TV
So, Leah,
or whatever.
I'm gonna need you guys to commentate on this, or I'll just be loud. All right. Anyways, I'm just gonna jump on here.
I'll jump in yours. I got the big boss seat.
He just wants to show everybody how he can
Yeah.
work out without
As you
gym
can see,
clothes.
I'm not
'Cause we
really
did
dressed
so well.
appropriately
Yeah.
for the workout, but it's no excuse. I've worked out in a cheap suit and tie before, and it doesn't
Yep.
matter. You can, besides doing the hip bridges and the crunches and the sit-ups, you can also do planks and push-ups on here. So I'll show you first.
So he's
These are
gonna
all
show us a
push-ups.
Yep.
push up.
Oh, that looks more fun than a real
Hands on the
push-up.
side of the
Oh,
ball.
yeah. And
These are actually pretty tough.
They're really tough because you gotta work
Like
your
stabilize.
balance into the same time as you're gonna be doing the push-ups. So your arms are working already, just trying to balance on the ball while you're trying to push up with your triceps and
Exactly.
biceps.
Your shoulders are really
Yep.
stabilizing. And another exercise you can do, basically write your name like this on here. Again, getting your rotator cuff, getting your serratus, getting your lats,
Ooh.
chest. You can do all kinds of things. You can do clap push-ups.
Oh,
Oh,
Clap
now he's
push-ups.
getting
now he's
fancy.
getting fancy.
Fancy.
Yeah. Oh, you fancy.
Fancy frugal
There you
fitness.
Something to
go.
keep
Just
in
how you
mind
like
whenever
it.
you're working on a ball is to try to keep everything as even as possible because it's
Right.
easy to fall off these guys. So
Yeah, I
when
don't
you're
wanna work
doing
on
like
push-ups.
push-ups or planks, orient your arms like shoulder length apart. Just guesstimate, keep things even again, just so that you're working the same muscles and
And
not.
when you're doing a plank
So
too,
when
make
you-
sure that your butt's not sticking up in
Butt
the air.
goes
It's not
down.
collapsing.
Large badonk. But,
Oh, right.
but
It's his
anyways,
large
up
butt.
front,
Keep those legs straight.
You can do
My
a
bad.
plank. You can do write your name. Do a dynamic ones.
Mhm.
You can do single arm.
Ooh,
Or I'm sorry,
There we
not
go.
single arm, single, leg.
Fancier.
Sing-
Single arm, I can't
So in a
do.
Single
plank
leg,
on the
single
ball,
arm.
lifting one
Yep.
leg at a time
You can go
while trying to
forward,
balance.
Oh, yep.
back, side,
I can
Rolling
I
the
can
ball
I can
from
see
side
you
to
working there,
side.
Mike. I can see your arms.
and basically
Just resisting.
Exactly. So you hit the rectus abdominis. You also hit the oblique muscles, stabilize as well as chest, shoulders, and even your lat muscles, serratus muscles. All very important. So
Yeah, you want those serratuses cut up.
And mind you,
want
he
the
was wearing
serratuses nice and cut up like Dimitri's.
he
Nice.
was wearing his fancy shirt too, and he completed it. So just
Yeah.
goes to show you,
Hey.
bring your ball into work,
You don't
and you
need.
got this.
You either don't need to look good to sweat, or you can look good to sweat.
So anyways, we're
Swag.
going to be right back. And, we demonstrated some great exercises. We talked about, kind of the need to improve school lunches and just the nutrition in general for students and for kids. And, we even discussed kind of the needs for, overall overall better strength and conditioning and training for even college athletes or outside of beyond college athletics. So anyways, we're just gonna kind of conclude the show with a little bit of some tidbits of wisdom and some stories from Amanda and Leah and Ryan. So Amanda, what was your friend had a little fitness?
Oh yeah,
fitness tradition.
I just wanted to tell you when he was talking about working out without in professional clothes, or that's professional clothes for Mike.
Exactly.
Jeans and a shirt.
I never wear real clothes, so this is as close as it gets.
Yeah,
for
so
me.
My friend, he still does this. He works in an office, and he will go when he gets bored. He'll just go sneak off into this room that he knows is empty, and he'll just do 20 push-ups or 30 crunches, and he'll make a game out of it all day.
I like it.
And see how much if he can beat himself each day.
That is actually
determination.
If he can
right?
beat himself, how? And how many times? or how many
yesterday
reps?
I only got to squeeze in 30. But
Okay.
today, however many times you can go. I don't know.
I like
He
that.
created it himself.
That's motivating,
Yeah.
as opposed to somebody who tries to do as little work as possible throughout the day, which is kind of more the norm, I would say.
I like random push-ups. Those are
Yeah.
fun.
Well,
Gives you a burst
you
of
are in
energy.
the
I like it.
you are in the select population, because most people try to avoid that stuff like the plague.
I actually see a lot of more people doing random stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well-
Especially push-ups.
Well,
'cause
planking was very popular at one point, but anyways, so let's. I want to hear your little tidbit of wisdom that you were talking about earlier with me about kind of the difference between body composition
right.
when it comes to two people the same weight.
Basically, not to focus on the calorie in, calorie out lifestyle. So basically saying, say you worked out and burned 500 calories. Just because you burn 500 calories does not mean you can go indulge in 500 calories worth of cake. Instead, do something nice for your body and indulge in, vegetables where, you're burning as you're eating anyway. Instead of, all this sugar and fat and carbs. And basically, and again, it's what was I saying? What was I saying before?
Basically,
right. Basically, the balance of two different people weighing, say, 125 pounds. Somebody weighing 125 in muscle is very different from somebody weighing 125 in fat. And the look is very different as well as just the overall appearance.
Yeah, absolutely. She means if somebody had 30% body fat versus 20%, but they have the same body weight.